Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. My today's video is on a comparative study on the declaration of the first verse of the Holy Quran for many worlds and the groping of science for life in any other planet of the universe. A short summary of the video. The first verse of the Quran says that the earth is not the only world, but there are more worlds of which Allah is the creator and the Lord. While the scientists of the modern world suspect of other worlds where life may exist. Thus the Quran is sure of the worlds other than the earth, while it's still a matter of only suspicion and surmise for science. It may sound odd in billions years, but it is true to the bone and to the core, like your own breath. It may sound challenging, nevertheless, it is a simple truth, like the life on earth. You will fall to the ground and lag behind if you become angry with this slapping truth. Let us have a look into the whole matter. Science is still groping blindly for the existence of life beyond earth, while the Quran declares it as a matter of normal happening of Allah's creation, that is nature. So, science needs more time to reach the level of the knowledge contained in the first verse of the first surah of the Holy Quran. The first verse of the Quran reads as Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The word Alameen is the plural form of Alam, which means world or universe. So the last word of the verse Alameen means worlds or universes. It means that the number of world or universe is more than one, of which Allah is the Rabb or Lord. On the other hand, science is still suspecting the plurality of the world, though its suspicion or conjecture could not yet be solidified and materialized through discovery. It means that the scientists only express their ideas and opinions, but the pronouncement of the Quran is decisive and definite in this respect. The world or universe, as per the Quran, is more than one. We don't know how many. Science is still groping for the proofs, but the declaration of the Quran is unswerving. Science is to run some more miles to catch up the level of the Holy Quran, at least in this respect. I say at least in this respect because in many other respects no possibilities for science is there to reach the level of the Quran at all. If there be any future opportunity for scientists to discover the plurality of the universes, that will certainly vindicate this Quran verse. Science will not surpass the Quran even in future. No, I am not saying that the Quran is a book of science. Rather, it is above science. What I am saying is that the author of the Quran is all-knowing, omniscient. He knows more than science knows. His knowledge never develops like that of a scientist. His knowledge is already perfect, all-encompassing and never-ending. Science is human, which needs development. But the Quran is unchallengeable and perfect, that stands above all branches of human knowledge. The people who claim to find anything unscientific in the Quran should read the Quran again and again, very carefully. Some flaws are there in their readings. They are prone to commenting before understanding, and many of them do not even realize that the Quran may contain anything worth understanding and caring for. Their prejudices lead them to the wrong platform with wrong conclusion. We carefully studied the verses of the Quran challenged by the anti-Islamic bigots and found none of their arguments valid. For example, those who say that the Quran's earth is flat instead of round were found misunderstanding the verses concerned. They fail to realize that the Quran never refers to the earth as a planet, and therefore never declares whether the earth is round or flat. The Quran always cites the place of habitation of man as land or ground, either plain or hilly, or as land and sea, spread wide enough to roam about on it, and cozy enough to use it like a carpet or a bed. How does these ideas make the earth flat or round? In no way. You use the earth as a bed and argue that the Quran has rejected the roundness of your earth by mentioning it as your bed. What a horrible nonsense you are talking. You use plain land of the earth to make houses for your living, but you declare that the Quran's earth is flat when the Quran says that earth has been made plain for your living, for your roaming. What a horrible nonsense. You roam about on the surface of the earth, but react to the Quran's declaration that the earth is spread for your easy movement. Is not your behavior self-contradictory? Doubtlessly. Modern science says that blood, feces and milk are the product of metabolism within the stomach of the animal concerned. But they, some people, nonsensically mark the Quranic verse as unscientific when it says that milk comes from the stomach or belly of the animal and that it is produced in between blood and feces. The Quran's verse is very much scientific according to the modern science of metabolism. But we cannot hold laughter at the idea of those people who mark this verse as unscientific. Now let us come to our original point. If scientists of the modern times be able to discover more than one world, or say for example 1 billion earths like this one, a good follower of the Quran will not feel embarrassed. He will rather find causes to exult, because that will solidify his faith by getting the first verse of the first surah of the Holy Quran proved by modern science.